Guys, it's Rachel, and every single time I say my name, I want to laugh because I'm like, well, clearly you're on my channel, so you know. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that really hit me today, which is social media and the effect it has on my brain, or all of our brains, really. I'm just sitting here in my jams, like nothing special. Woo woo, jam party, pajama party. Okay. So as I sit in my pajamas, um, this morning I was on Instagram and I was going through, a friend's feed, and it led me to like another person's feed, and then it led me to this girl's feed, and it's this girl who's a model. She's very short, and she doesn't have, the normal body stats that they would use for modeling, but she comes from a famous family, and I was getting feelings of jealousy, and I started to feel like really icky, like why her, like why does she get this lifestyle, why does she get this recognition, like she didn't earn it. And then I took a second and I stopped and I thought, wow, that is so fucked up of me. Like, I don't know this girl. This isn't my business. Like, this isn't my life. Like, how do I know that she doesn't like spend every weekend working at like soup kitchens? How do I know that she doesn't, volunteer to help like children learn to read, or whatever else? I don't. And how do I know that she's not just like 19 years old right now and living it up, and in about 20 years she's going to, completely change the world's view on, the LGBT community, or whatever other issue, the environment, whatever, who knows. My point being is that like we're all on our own journey and we all have our own things, and I'm, seeing this very filtered version of her life through Instagram, and I'm making judgments on that, but I don't know her and I don't know what she does. And so I took a second back. I took a step back and I took a second and I really thought about that. And I was thinking about how destructive Instagram, or just all social media, really is at times, and how it really affects our mental health. And there was a study that came out quite recently, actually, and I have it pulled up here. And it's talking about the fact that, Instagram, particularly in young women, it forces them to compare themselves unrealistically, largely curated, filtered, and photoshopped versions of reality, said the author of this report, Matt Kuracher. I'm sorry, Matt, I totally butchered your name. And Instagram easily makes girls and women feel as though their bodies aren't good enough, as people add filters and edit their photos in order to make them look perfect. And when we post on these sites, we're really posting the best version of our life. Rarely do we post pictures of ourselves in our pajamas just hanging out, and with no makeup on, which is something I'm really, I'm making the effort to do, and we rarely post these photos of just like us in our everyday lives. Like, most of my friends, if they didn't post that day, it's probably because they did nothing, or they didn't do anything that they deemed interesting enough for Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever. So I think Facebook has sort of, at least for me, morphed into more very close family and friends. So there's a lot more on Facebook that I would share, that I wouldn't really share publicly, at least on my private Facebook. And but anyway, so the Royal Society of Public Health actually is pushing for a ban on Photoshop and filters on social media apps, because has increased negative body image, people's sleep patterns, and added to this sense of like FOMO, essentially, fear of missing out, and people feeling as if their lives are inadequate. So it's really interesting because we're like moving away from living in the moment, and the other thing about being on Instagram and things like that is it's just a dopamine loop. So our brain is getting constantly rewarded as we see each image. So we get like stuck on there for hours. We just scroll. It's a constant dopamine loop where our body's being filled with like happy. And then we go back into our lives and it feels now as if our life has like a negative scope on it. And anyway, so my point is just that like I feel like, I like to talk about mental health on Mondays, and I really think that social media is an aspect where we really should start diving in and talking about this. But as I was saying, like, we only really post the photos that are our best selves, me in London, or me when I'm like feeling super fit in a bikini, or all of those things. And we're all sort of like afraid of the internet trolls, or feeling inadequate, and we're really pulling away from this sense of authenticity. And I think it's just going to be a really interesting space to watch over the next few years, and I'm really curious what you guys all think about it as well, because how long can we sort of keep up our best selves, our ideas of perfection? How long do you think that we can keep going with it? We're already seeing brands like ASOS and Aerie not editing their photos, trying to bring people's perceptions back into reality. So how long, as the consumer, because that's what we are the consumer. So if we decide to stop filtering, if we decide to stop photoshopping, we are that change. So how long until we as the consumer decide that we've had enough of this? How long until it's considered, bad and taboo to be editing? To be, when is it going to be you're the odd girl out if you put a filter on your photo? And we stop sharing our lives in a way that feels like a curated gallery, and more as if we are just actually beaming with our life and gratitude for our life.
Because I can tell you, almost every single day I actually post in my story my cup of tea. Because that is my first gratitude every single morning. Basically, almost every single morning, my husband brings me a cup of tea pretty much within 5 to 10 minutes of waking up, and I feel so grateful for it. And I think, so I always post it. I always post that because it's just like the feeling of the tea and all of that. Like I'm not going to get too like yogi and spiritual for you guys, but like, it is sort of that first little bit of gratitude that I feel. And so I do sort of make an effort to post it. But
I definitely feel pressure to edit my photos. I definitely feel like I want to be keeping up with the Joneses. Like I feel like everyone's in Europe right now. Why is everyone in Croatia right now? Are they just like that excited about Game of Thrones? Like all these bloggers and models are in Croatia, and I'm like, why wasn't I invited to the Croatian party? I don't understand. And so that's my point. My point is just, when do we start to disengage enough and just really interact with each other authentically? So yeah, these were just my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section, so drop me a line and I'll always comment back. And yeah, have a great day. Have a happy Monday. Love you all.
pajama party.